Hi, I'm Brian King, and this is Marriage Monday. On my last Five Things Friday, I said something kind of off the cuff that really got me thinking. I asked if I gave you a transcript of everything you said to your wife over the past day, week, or month, what would it look like? And that question kind of hit me harder than I expected. I had to really think about it. It's a great test for all of us as husbands and leaders in our marriages. And like I said, I just kind of said that off the cuff, and then I really started thinking about it. What would a transcript of all of my interactions with my wife look like? Would it read like a drama, or more like a romantic comedy? Or, would it resemble a silent movie? Well, um, I went back and thought about it and thought about my own transcript. Was it intentional, encouraging, loving, or was it mostly about the day to day stuff, the bills and schedules and life logistics? The daily grind. Was that all it was? Um, if I'm being honest, mine wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. There were no major conflicts. We haven't had a big fight for years. We have little fights and they're over in like 5 minutes and we get back on track. So we got that under control. There was not a lot of leadership and intentionality, though. That's something that concerned me. And my praise to criticism ratio was okay, but I could definitely see room for improvement. So I decided to kind of think about this more and think about what did I want my transcript to say. Like I said, if I could play back everything that I've said to my wife in the past day or the week or even the month, hopefully it would fit on more than a post-it note. And what do I want it to say? And I came up with a few things that I want my transcript to say. I want my daily transcript to show leadership and intentional love, like I'm doing it on purpose. I want there to be gratitude and encouragement. I want to know that I'm thankful for her, and I want to encourage her. I want to make sure that she knows that I've got her back, that I'm there for her. I will do what it takes to get things done, and that we're in it together. And I want the connection to be beyond just the surface. I really want her to see deep connection. Um, Hopefully, as I kind of turn this into a routine of checking my transcript, it will show that. And it won't look like we're just a couple of roommates managing life, with a few short exchanges that could fit on a post-it note. That's what I want to avoid. I really want to be intentional, loving, and caring, and lead her and move towards the things that are our dreams and goals. So when I got my results, the summary was clear. Right now I'm at a healthy point, but there's lots of room for improvement. And just basically the intentional moments were mostly on the weekends. And the leadership framework, the tone that says we're moving somewhere together, it wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. So that's what I'm working on. Now, the question for you, it's your turn. What would your transcript say about your marriage? Would it show the love and encouragement that you want to show? Would it show purpose? Or would it show that it's, in silence and survival mode? So take the test. Really consider it. Really listen to the tone and content of your words. I know you can't follow her around with a tape recorder and record everything, but you can remember most of your conversations. And another good place to look is scroll back through the text that you've sent her. Was it mostly about just daily stuff? Oh, was there some encouragement in there? Were there some loving notes? Did you share something funny with her? You know, if you're into texting, if you text her a lot, then you'll have a pretty good idea of what your conversation is and what your tone is. If you don't do that a lot, then you're just going to have to think about, kind of look back through your phone logs and see how many times you called her to say, hey, do you need anything? Or, are your phone calls mostly, I'm going to be late, make dinner, whatever? Think about it. What is the sum of everything you've said for the last day? And then stretch it back and think, well, what have our conversations been like for the past week? And how do you want to change that? Is this helping me lead my marriage well? Is this taking us where we want to go? Or are we just surviving? Are we communicating and sharing love? Are we building something together? Or are we just surviving? Or are we somewhere in the middle? I'm kind of in the middle, and I have some work to do. What I'm going to do is talk about this more on Winning Wednesday, because I want to figure a way to use this transcript test to improve my marriage. I want to know, you can't go back and change what's behind, but you can use it to kind of give yourself a checkup and see first of all, are you where you want to be? And if you're not, you can take steps to get there. So I'm going to start talking about this some more on Winning Wednesday. In the meantime, really take some time and think about what you've said to your wife. Have you said everything you've wanted to say? Have you expressed all of the things that you're feeling towards her? Hopefully in a good way. I'm not suggesting that you go home and pick a fight. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the good things. If you have thoughts, if you, like I've said many times before, an unexpressed thought doesn't help you a bit. Until you express it, she doesn't know. So are there a lot of compliments in your communication over the past day, week, or month? Is there encouragement? Is there leadership? These are all things we're going to work on, or I'm going to work on for me, and I'm going to share the results and tell you how it's going in my life, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you too. But that's it for today's Marriage Monday. Like I said, I'm going to cover a lot more on Winning Wednesday and see if we can develop this into a way that we can use it to win in our marriages. So right now, that's it for Marriage Monday, and I will see you on Wednesday and talk about how to win with taking this transcript test. Talk to you later.